What's up, ladies and gentlemen, Rocketeers, Roof Campers, and Raiders? Welcome on in here to Rustoria Base Invaders, brought to you by Rusty Pot. Today we have North America 8 versus 8. Large squads here today, but I can't do it alone. Joined with me in the casting booth is the amazing BlastRites. Are you excited to see some action? How are you doing today?
I am so excited and I'm doing fantastic.
To hear.
They had some excitement in the last one, and I think Free TC was the winner of the last one, and they are here again today. So I'd like to see how well they do in North America.
That'll be good to see if they can maybe go back to back, take both of the tournaments here today. But large squads. I mean, we talk about 8v8, a lot less teams maybe here today, and a lot bigger raids. So if you're not there at your base could definitely get destroyed faster than ever. But and how this event basically works, they've already had 30 minutes of grace period to build up their base just a little bit. They will have 30 minutes of this attacking phase where they can do PvP, kill each other. No bases can be raided during this time, but there will be some attack helicopters that spawn in to get you some points.
Exactly. And right now we're in the attack phase, so every single kill counts. There's going to be those helis and Bradley, and it's all about just getting the most kills as you can and trying to finish your base.
Get that base build up. You do not want to be an easy target, especially in these 8v8s. If a team sees a weak point, they are definitely going to be able to raid it. With that many players, can kind of put your resources in different places. And then obviously once this attack phase does end, we will have that raiding phase where you can push in with those rockets, C4, and try and eliminate a team, get their TC and get 40 points. But the team that is at the top of this attack leaderboard at the end of the attack phase will get an extra 10 points to boost their lead.
Absolutely. And you can see Gigolo is trying to prevent Elo demons from finishing building their base, which is a good tactic, and that's why you need to use all of the grace period as you can to finish up.
Yeah, you need to get that base built up, and we talked about it before that if you can just be a thorn in the side of one of these teams, that you can really kind of stop them, try and maybe stop any progression they get. It can be really helpful, but with 8 people, it's definitely you can get your base built up. So you can see them trying to finish that roof off, try and get some of those angles that they could shoot down. And RNC, a team that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks actually, is has shot down this helicopter, and it's going to be landed in the middle of 3 teams, so hotly contested here.
Absolutely. It's right outside of Blinchiki's base, and we have Air Force. So now it's just going to be roof camping, getting some walls down maybe, and looks like Free TC is also making a move on it. They're high on the hill. Maybe a fun location for a little raid platform and shoot down at RNC from here.
I mean, we talked about roof peaks are really dangerous, but if he just has this high ground on them, take all these shots here. So, like you said, trying to look towards that helicopter, maybe convert this into a later power position. But for right now, he's going to be taking some shots. He is spotted out by 2 of these teams here, so in a little bit of danger, but he's okay for now.
Might as well get a few PvP points when they think they're protected from the other roofs, and they have to contend with him as well.
You know, just get as many points as they can, rack them up. And talking about racking up points, Lightning has actually come out here to an early lead, 23 points, not too bad. And Free TC, the team you were talking about right now, sitting in second place. Now, obviously, these numbers matter, but at the same time, when we get into this rating phase, 40 points for that TC can really jump any of these teams up to the top of that league.
Absolutely. And last week there were a few teams that really didn't progress in the raid aspect of the game of this tournament, but they performed so well just in the PvP and getting all those kills, and like with really high KDAs and KDs, and they just it was really fun to see that because it wasn't all about the TC. But for most teams, yeah, you definitely need those TC to jump you up on that leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, last week, well, Lightning on Alita's on a 15 kill streak there. So absolutely massive to start off the day. And it's like you're saying, last week we had some teams that really popped off in that attacking phase, really pushed forward to get those points and really rack them up. and put themselves in a winning position that no one could really take over throughout the day. But like you're saying, a lot of these teams have prepared for the raiding phase, that is their go-to. That because they might be around so many teams, they might not be getting these kills in the attack phase. But once that attack phase expires, they have been scouting, they've been looking, they've been trying to find the perfect base for their first raid.
And we have, I mean, we have to wait for these fires to go out, but so much can happen in the meantime. And RNC is trying to push closer, but we have Air Force also in that mix in those walls. But Blinchiki is being blocked from exiting their base, and even though it's closest to them, it's the hardest for them to get out.
Yeah, it's really rough. They're just being kind of held inside. The outer wall is blocked right now, and it's like you were saying, a lot of these teams trying to put down extra walls to give them more cover. But it looks like again, these two teams, RNC, Air Force, both these teams looking to try and get. Oh, he shot on his backside there. Will not be living for too long. But this helicopter, like I said, those fires take time to expire, and that gives time for these teams to set up. But RNC, they want to push this flanker out. They want to make sure they have clean angles here. So 1v1 on this flank side as the RNC member pushes around this wall, tries to get rid of this member. The 1v1 will go the way of RNC, and they will remove that angle and have a safer path towards that helicopter.
Yeah, and we see one of the crates going to RNC right now. Another one is out. I think the one to the heli may be out as well. That looks like there's two under there. Still on fire, though. He got burned.
I should have brought his fire extinguisher, but not bring one today. And like you
Or at
said,
least
he'll
bring a
grab some.
water gun.
Yes, it's we have to replace all the guns with squirt guns in Rust. Yeah, they'll jump up on the leaderboard, though. Third place after taking all those crates, one of them still on fire, but a really good initiative to push forward, a really good job of communicating where that flanker was and to take them out so they had pretty much a free rotate. And Air Force kind of had to back up off of that. They didn't have as much of a clean rotation onto it. So RNC will take those crates and have a third place right now.
And we have Easy Frags is still in the area, so he could easily get it. We have PvPP over at the other wall trying to cover Blinchiki from getting out of their base.
It's just a mess. We saw the map a little bit earlier, and there's no one really on the left side. It's pretty much all upper or all right side. There are some bases on the lower right side, but it's pretty much all upper right, and that's where a lot of the action is going to be today, unless some of those other teams do walk a pretty far distance. But as of right now, there's a lot of hills near this side of the map, and see a couple of players really playing it really smartly, taking this high ground. Right now going to hold that high angle over the player of free TC.
I'm actually, I mean, other than the difficulty of having to traverse up and down this mountain, I mean, seeing a base up there, well, I guess it's not level land, so that would have been a nightmare to have to build on. But
Oh, that's great shots.
but it would have been fun. Really nice shots.
Yeah. It would have been fun. It would have been hard, like you said, to kind of get resources back and forth. But a nice kill, kind of just waited it out, knowing that player was there. But now we see RNC is not done with their push. We saw them take space, but they did not give any up after that push towards the helicopter. So like we were saying earlier, some of these teams look for their first target. You want to eliminate your neighbors first, because if you eliminate them, and when you go further out to take further and further raids, they'll be more and more safe.
Yeah, and taking those crates has given RNC 27 points. They're currently tied with Ecuador for second place. And Lightning is still leading the way with 31, and I think that is all from PvP.
I'm pretty much, yeah, you're 100% right. PvP points, absolutely huge for them right now. Taking a small lead in RNC, like you're saying, really, really good job to get those crates, get some PvP points along with that. I mean, sitting in a second place, not too far behind. Our leaderboard is super, super tight right now. So we'll hop on over here and see another timed crate. So obviously, timed crate worth some points too. Going to be sitting on the top of this roof for someone to claim.
Yeah, those are really nice, especially in the larger, like the 6v6 and up. You have these crates, so you don't have to worry about your team leaving an important fight when you could have one or two focus on something else. I mean, so we have a Bradley here, we have a timed crate. It looks like Nurik may be moving in on to get some of these points. But it's nice you don't necessarily miss one player out of these large groups as you would if it was a 3v3 or a 4v4.
Yeah, you looks like Bradley is up to. So yeah, a lot of points here at this location to be had if some members do try and make their way over. And Nurk is going to be the first, like you were saying, to make their way over, and it is 8v8. So like you're saying, there's not as many teams to go look out at these locations. So you can see Nurk just going to scout out, maybe look for that timed crate, but also Bradley is going to be there for him to claim some crates along with it.
Yeah.
And that's what he's looking to make his way towards. Oh, another time crate, actually. Nice.
Yeah. So there's 2 crates currently on the map. This one now has been activated. He has 5 minutes. I don't see him with a weapon, so he's out there just naked, maybe just trying to rat it out. It's lucky that Bradley seems to be stuck on a node, so he doesn't have to worry about that yet.
Right. Yeah, yet being the key detail there. But like you're saying, yeah, no weapon is very interesting. Maybe just trying to get some extra points for his team. We can see the leaderboard is super tight. Benurk in 9th right now, 18 points. But we can just see the trench warfare from these teams. The 8v8s allow you to send so many players out, and it is going to be an absolute bloodbath when it comes time for the raids because it's going to be so hard. Oh, more and more kills. It's trading back and forth. Maul doing a very good job right now playing their cover and trying to take kills, and they'll take yet another. 3 of those players will be pushing really good onto this upper base.
And this is probably where Nurik was getting a lot of their kills. I don't know what happened to their gate. Are they just not doing a gate this time? Oh no, this is Andromina. Wait, no, that's
Yeah,
possibly
looks like
Santa's base.
yeah, I think they're offline. So maybe the full team did disconnected. Maybe just some other teams trying to prioritize that high ground. We can see Alita. We saw him on a 15 kill streak earlier. Absolutely insane from him, but maybe just taking this other base to get more angles to help out his team.
Yeah, and you can always use the structures that were put down on other teams until they decay. So if they were able to, if this team happened to disconnect or anything else like that, if any doors are open, anything else, they can go grab those boxes. Maybe stocking up for a raid.
Smart, yeah. Get those any extra resources you can get is going to be massive here. We talked about 8v8s. It's gonna be long and arduous raids because there are so many members to try and defend. So you're gonna need a lot of boom, a lot of resources to get there. And any that you can steal from any other team can be massive. So yeah, it looks like this team is offline and has left their base. So any other team, and we're seeing RNC again doing a really good job of just it's not the fact that this base is unraidable. It's the fact that they have extra angles and extra protection now because they have that roof.
That was Vinegar's base. Don't know what happened, but seems to be all offline. But we will go to the fighting. It looks like they're using the forest for cover. And didn't work well.
Yeah, this tree's
Wow.
not the greatest size.
Yeah. DDDD. Got a shot off of lightning. And nice little wall to loot. And looks like RNC got lucky with another heli. Wonder if it'll be in a better spot for them. Or in the same spot since it worked out well for them. Oh, on the other side of the map.
Oh, it is in no man's land. We talked about how really no one is over here. So this is Joker's crate right now. I mean, he's got to wait some time for those crates to stop burning, but man, he's all by himself out here.
And not much cover other than those couple of walls. So really good move. It doesn't have to worry about too many contestants. And I mean, they can see the map as well as we can. They can see that nobody is built in this area. So, I mean, it was a really smart move, especially with each heli spawns in different places, and so if he knows it's going to be heading over here, just hauls butt down here. It looks like he took his mini over here to fight it before anybody else could.
That's super smart. Really good initiative. And Joker, one of those players that does appear a lot in these base invaders tournaments, but it looks like they will maybe have another player getting sent out here. So RNC going to have 2 players, but it looks like Chaos is hearing all this action, is hearing these helicopters fly on in. So they decide they are going to make a move for it. So right now going to be a 2 versus 3 for this helicopter, and the one player inside of the other helicopter for RNC, they might be leaving. So I believe it's going to be all up to Joker to try and get these crates.
Oh,
And Chaos is pushing forward.
there's 3, just 3. He
Yeah.
seems to be moving away from Heli, maybe trying to just get a better flank on the guys. But looks like Marta is also doing the same thing by trying to flank him.
Yeah, just playing super interesting. And Chaos, this is really good from them. I mean, we talk about how really no one is up here. This is kind of an isolated fight. And right now, Joker on a head peak on this rock, really looking to take out Marta. But these other 2 players have already made their way and really secured ground over by this helicopter. So Joker's going to be in a rough spot. I think his teammate didn't want to waste too many resources knowing it's a 3 versus 2. But look at that. Joker is just better there. Wins the 1v1, and now he's got 2 more to deal with.
It looks like Eclipse did come back for his kit, so he can start picking off these other 2 Chaos members.
And gonna push in open field, like you said, not a lot of cover. He sees them. Mars gonna be hiding behind this rock. Eclipse, I don't think he's seen yet. Finally, though, these 2 players will swing, and now Chaos doing a really good job. What cover they can, but 2 versus 1 right now with Joker still alive.
Yeah, and Eclipse will most likely tell Joker is like, hey, there's 2 over here. So now Joker can be a little bit more prepared than Eclipse was just by aiming in on the one guy he saw.
Eclipse also kind of thought Omar had his back turned, so really trying to get a good headshot, trying to wait for him to stand still or something like that, but ended up paying the price with his life. So these 2 KS members, though, playing what cover they can, these trees, these bushes, these rocks. Looks like Omar will be sent out to maybe try and find Joker, but I don't know if I see Joker anywhere in sight here. So looks like they may have just dipped on back out. And Chaos, oh no, Joker's actually flanking around the side here on this by this tree line. These crates are going to start to expire, and those points going to be available. And see a lot of points from PvP. Their other players must be doing a lot, and Omar's going to take a lot of damage down to 9 health. Joker has to put up this wall, but Omar's running through the open field, and all of a sudden it's a 1v1.
Really nice wall by Joker. Now he just has to heal and take care of Ferxo.
Both players have a wall. Full health on Joker here. He's going to peek out. The trades will come through, and it's going to favor Joker there, taking him down to 57. The bandages going to be used and try and heal up for what he can here. Again, 1 wall for each player. Fight happens. The trees be really the only cover they have other than these walls. Joker now going to try and swing around this mountain. This is yet another wall here. Tries to swing out again, and it's still a 1v1 pretty much for this helicopter. But we do see a Scrappy coming in to assist. It's shot out of the sky though.
Very nice.
Joker though will end up falling. That's doing a really good job of just surrounding him on all sides, and they will take those crates.
Yeah, he did a really good job for sticking out as long as he did, but a 1v3 just isn't going to work.
I think the important thing to note is that one player took the time of 3 players. And we can see RNC, while Joker was off doing this, they have gotten themselves up to first place, up to 60 points, in a position to be at the top of this leaderboard at the end of the attacking phase. And doing such a good job of that, we can talk about Chaos being the 7th place team, getting some of those crates. They wasted so much time dealing with one singular person. So I think that's just a really good job from Joker and his use of resources.
He is a really smart player. You usually see him roaming solo, getting into a base while his team is out doing other things. He's very supportive of his teammates, and if their main focus is somewhere else, he's getting points at other places.
Exactly, a really good team effort. Again, 8 players on team here today, and just about 10 minutes left in this attacking phase. It will start to go to the rating one here, but it looks like Nurik, we saw a player here earlier, and looks like they are going to try and focus down Bradley, get some more points as our final patrol helicopter is inbound.
And that does it for Bradley. Now we just have to wait for these fires, but it'll also show up on the map that it has been taken. And if anybody happens to be in the area, they will be moving on this way to get those boxes.
And that being alerted on the map does kind of draw in some other teams' moths to the flame, but we'll see if he can get those points. Nurik definitely need it in ninth right now, not too far behind. And again, like we said, once this attacking phase does expire, TCs are worth 40. So any team that is really in this top 10 position right now that gets a TC could either take first or extend their lead.
And also, whoever is leading at this point would get 10 extra points for winning the attack phase. So that's a nice little bump to give you some space between whoever's right behind you.
I give you just that little bit of extra. Usually, I mean, we we see a lot of spread in those TCs, but I mean, at the end of the day, it honestly comes down to 10, 15 points in a lot of these tournaments.
So I'm not sure if they're working their way up just to get more loot. Oh, no, they're coming back down now. Occasionally, they like to scope from the top, and it would give a decent shot down to the roof of Joke, but looks like they thought of that and extended their high wall on their shooting floor a little bit more to prevent those roof rockets if they
That's
do
absolutely
come.
huge. Like, if you get that extra high ground protection, they can't go up there, and they'll just be wasting time, honestly. And that's really good use of resources to kind of put up that wall, protect themselves even more. But Lightning right now going to be holding down that first place position. Like you said, 10 extra points for that first place. Oh, man, SAK on a 15 kill streak for Ecuador. Again, they are also doing really good. We haven't seen them really taking any helicopters or anything else. So you have to assume that all of those points are from PvP.
And I'm Bunny is running out in the open, trying to get back behind a wall, throwing it out another one for protection. And Chaos got another heli down. I'm wondering if it's in that same location or if they went back to base and got it there.
And Free TC going to be pushing out here on Ecuador. That player is actually sniped down here. And we talked about Free TC, one of those consistent teams that you wanted to watch here today. 7 minutes left in this attacking phase. They're doing pretty good right now, 54 points for themselves. See, it looks like they are making their way to try and gain some ground on this Ecuador team. Now, it looks like also Ecuador is a little bit busy. So Joke and Lolo is on their backside here. At the moment, they are pushed super far out of their base, it looks like. So if you are Free TC, you could really take advantage of this.
Yeah, and I'm curious if they're out scoping just the bases currently, but they can see that Ecuador's base is very short compared to the other ones, but it is pretty wide. So I'm wondering how well that will do. It won't help if people decide to top down. But I'm interested to see if like the height really changes people's mind or how much of an easier raid it is if depending on the height.
Exactly. We'll have to see, but now this field has become a war zone here with it looks like VG pushing out, trying to get some angles here. Big player is actually going to get some nice beams here on this player, but looks like the res may come through, trying to get that player reset. We can see just how many walls are being built here by every single one of these teams, just trying to gain any ground. I mean, look at that. It is absolute trench warfare out here.
Yeah, and these walls, I mean, these have just been up in the past 8 minutes, but then they will despawn, so you might see a few disappearing, like that one right in the center. So they'll give you cover, you just don't want to be behind it when it's about to go.
Right. I did not want to have that cover drop for you, but it looks like these teams are very proficient at getting these walls back up and not having themselves exposed out in the open, one of those walls falling, but Ecuador, that player trying to get loot and will just be killed for it.
and we're coming up on 5 minutes of the attack phase. So I'm wondering how many of these will continue this PvP action or will start to try to move back to their base and get geared up for the raiding.
The rating's going to come soon, but we haven't talked about it, that there are only 17 teams here today. So the raids getting an actual TC is going to be, there's going to be a small amount of them, or a smaller amount than usual. So you have to really put all of your resources to something, because you do not want to spend all of your rockets, all of your C4, all of your resources just for some team to walk in and steal it from you. So you need to be really clean with your rating. You need to communicate really well. Like you said, you might just need to get back and defend, because 8 players on a defense is really hard to crack.
It is, and with a lot of these bases building right next to each other, I mean, counters are going to happen no matter what.
Sending those other players to just scare the team to maybe coming back on, but so right now, like you were saying, under 5 minutes left here. Lightning right now in just a small lead. Ecuador close behind. And RNC in that 3rd place position. All of these teams doing a really good job. And I mean, again, this leaderboard is super, super close. We're talking about Free TC. Blinn is all in the top here. Nurik, I mean, have got a lot of points here in the attacking phase. And a singular TC, if they can find one, can boost them up super far here.
Yeah, Nurik looks like they took out the crate and Bradley, so they got those points, and that's why they're up to 56. And Chaos has now jumped up to 54, so that's 2 heli crates that they were able to get, gave them 30 points. So, like you said earlier, it's just like not a lot of PvP, but I mean those 30 points is not bad.
The 30 points is 30 points. It is what it is.
Yeah.
For, any way you can get them, that is the way they chose to. But yeah, it's going to be super close coming down to the end. And I think either Lightning or Ecuador is going to be the team that gets that extra 10 points. But we'll have to see. I mean, again, so many teams, so many players here. There's so many kills available, but it's also, again, Nurik has retaken that base that we saw earlier. I believe it was Vinegar that left early, I believe. So those peaks able to be utilized, but it's really hard to see through all this foliage, all these trees.
And it looks like Lightning is making a move onto Nurik. Or is this Nurik's base? I'm not sure. This is the Vinegar base, yeah. But they seem to be moving in this direction.
And Nurk will get that res off, reset, doing a really good job. Lightning is going to be shooting back towards them, though. So Lightning trying to push on the low ground here, try and get a lot of space they can. But again, these trees are hard to see through the foliage. Blocks a lot of that view from those Nurk players to shooting anywhere else. And 2 minutes is what we're talking about, is all these teams have to prepare. They have had about an hour to build up their base and get ready, but when it comes down to it, can you defend? That will be the real question. A lot of walls built by all of these teams to just try and protect, to try and save what they can. But it's like Lightning is going to be pushed up super far here on the outside of a base. It's like WhatsApp, and Lightning will fall there. So the player does fall, and it looks like Maul is actually here on the outside, already on the outer compound wall, ready to get this raid going.
Yeah, I think Maul may also have a raid platform set up somewhere in the midst of all this. Or at least they were nearby it earlier, but they're getting ready. They're set up for it.
Set up, a minute left, and then that raid will start to go. Lightning just a slight lead here, 4 extra points ahead. 4 extra points could give you 10 extra points here, so have to see. But yeah, Maul, they're getting prepared, they're getting ready. A minute left, and then they will be here. And it's really hard here for WhatsApp. We talked about those trees and how much they can block. They're on the high ground, but we do to watch out for those trees because they can't see super far. And it looks like this base has been retaken from Nurik. So a fight over this high ground, a fight over these peaks has been just massive for these teams.
Yeah, I don't know if Nurik is still in here and that's why Lightning is just up on the roof. Or if they've, yeah, it looks like they're just clearing it out. But Lightning taken out by Nurik. And he's getting looted. So Nurk still has his base.
Just holding on these 5 players, and 10 seconds until this attack phase does expire. Again, we will have an hour, 3 minutes of rating here.
And it looks like Lightning will get those extra points. And we're on to the raid phase.
10 extra points for them. They'll take an early 15-point lead. And we talked about it. The map is looking a lot of top right bases, a lot of action going to happen. And Maul was prepared. They are ready to go. An hour and 30 minutes. That is what these teams will have to raid. Again, 40 points for those TCs, a 1 point for each of those PvP points still. Looks like Narc and Lightning still fighting over this dead base here.
Yep, they're trying to get in, but it looks like they've already started blowing. Maybe you already have a good idea about where the TC is located.
Trying to put some shots down, trying to take those extra points here, but fight between Lightning and Nurik as Lightning tries to jump onto that high ground and they get massacred. One of the play will be on the inside, but Rick knows. He's put some really good shots down to defend this high ground. The player of Lightning get a little bit higher health than him. Bandages will help him heal up slowly. To run back and forth and try to get a peek off against each other. But Lightning has moved in quicker, it seems, getting their players back faster. Looks like there are 2 players of Nurk on the inside. A lot of Lightning players converging on this area.
You see all those body bags. I mean, lots of deaths have occurred.
Yeah, it's been a bloodbath here. Nurk is cleared off the roof, it seems like. Lightning will retake here. As the rockets start to come out, they'll start destroying, but this player of Nurk being a thorn in their side and taking out one of them, sitting on the 2nd floor. Lightning tries to reset, but Nurk player's taking really good angles. Oh, man. Eyes there, though.
Nice little hidey holes. Looks like they're going to try to continue on with this base, but somebody needs to go control it, make sure there's no entry point from the other team.
Sure, these other teams cannot get in, and Rocket's going to come out here soon from Lightning. We saw them put some C4 down here, but in line behind that door there. They got to be careful with Nurk. Again, we talked about resources. You do not want to put a lot of resources into a base. Not think you can get the TC. So Lightning right now, they're putting down some good C4, some good rockets to try and get on through. And it looks like they do control the high ground for now, but another team, Lolol, is up above the shooting floor below that ship covered roof. They're just going to be shooting back and forth. And that player of Nurek, once again. Oh, man, it's just an absolute fight in here.
Yeah. So the shooting floor is now controlled by Nurek. I think there's one Lightning, and he's taking... Oh, that was LOL.
No player of LOL. Taken out. But, man, I
There's...
mean...
There's so much action. It's like you go one way, and then somebody else is running another.
It's terrible. It's going to be downed on the top, but... And the shooting floor is going to be retaken by Nurek. But, I mean, look at this. They have made their way. They have made a small base outside here. So, they're taking the beds, taking all that. And it is just, like you were saying, too much action to really know what is going on here with all those teams trying to take that destroyed base up. But for right now, we'll switch on over as it looks like Free TC has a little bit of a setup going here. But they are going to get angled out. It looks like mostly killed here. So just one player of RNC on the backside of them. Maybe take this helicopter away. A really good job to get this team away from their base.
Yeah. Free TC tried to make a push on Gigolo, but it looks like they've... Yeah, definitely cleared it out. Are going to clear out those beds. And Valeria taking out OTT.
That was a really good jump peek, and he's going to be down to a 1v1 here. I think he wants to take this helicopter back out, but just wants a safe rotation, and I mean, this team may just shoot it down as he tries to fly out. Yeah, he's just gonna get sniped, and that would be gifted over there to this team. Really,
We
sniped
have
over
lots
there.
of booms.
Oh, yeah. Halo Demons not really at their home base, just a few of them here as a couple of teams start to push in. Chaos is going to be the first of them. They're going to shoot some rockets along with some of that C4 to try and blow a hole on the side. Now Halo Demons are going to try and trade out with those rifles, and they're doing a really good job against some kills, but be all it is, and no longer will you have your head for the peak.
This is number 10 team going up against number 15 team. So a little bit lower, but it looks like, I mean, the base isn't quite finished. The embrasures aren't on a lot of these windows. But other than that, the base seems to be, for the most part, built up and protected.
And this could be massive for Chaos. I mean, you were talking about a 9th place team right now. But if they get those 40 points, I mean, jumping themselves up into 3rd, 4th place, and in position if they take another one to possibly, jump themselves up into 1st. So it's going to be massive if they can get it in 8 players. Again, the team sizes are large. These raids are most likely going to take longer. But if you convert all 8 players just for this push, you could have a good idea there. But Chaos, that one player going to fall on the shooting floor.
And looks like Gigolo's countering this raid. So I guess since they cleared up Free TC's attack, they're just like, well, I hear boom over here. Let's go.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of crazy because you can hear everything, and we talked about how packed this upper right side of the map is, and so any rockets or anything that goes down just draws so many teams in. And like you're saying, the counter rating. Maybe if you were getting rated, just send. Oh man, a nice scrappy landing, but they're gonna die for that one.
One of them survived. So, I mean, 1 out of 2, not too bad.
There's a little bit of their push there, but some of the RNC members are already on that bottom floor, so a great job for them to try and get that rotation off fast, kind of get all their resources over to this base. And this base seems the biggest target right now. Elo Demons, their base has probably 4 or 5 teams around it. They're looking towards it. Right now, the top floor, oh, we can see RNC, that player is killed. So Gigolo here, yeah, on this top roof, are just controlling it right now, taking all these angles.
RNC is trying to move in to get a little bit of cover, but Gigolo is up on the and coming right down.
To do what they can here, but again, no one has really broken into this bottom part yet. Those rockets will finally give them access to it. Jumping down now, and they seem like they're the team that's putting the most rockets down. All the other teams are just fighting. Gigolo seems like they are really just pushing forward and getting those rockets down, prioritizing them more than anything. Trying to find this TC, trying to find those sweet 40 points.
Another great thing about is with these large teams, it's like, okay, you're going to be the rocketer. Okay, you got the C4. I mean, you can divvy up tasks in a raid so easily, and it's kind of nice if you can work well together as a team. That is, because some teams just don't.
That's true. And we can take a look into the bottom part of this base. It is going to be one of those smaller advent calendars. It looks like they had kind of a double-tiered roof where they had that shooting floor and then another floor set below it that connected to the core. And then obviously with this advent calendar base, if anyone hasn't heard of it before, there are a lot of doors, and the TC could be behind any single one of them. So it takes a lot of work, or you could just get lucky. Because right now, RNC takes some kills on this bottom floor. Moody gonna try and bomb his way up inside. Oh,
Just covering that door.
ready and waiting for those kills. And yeah, no one has really destroyed a lot of these doors on the low ground. Just destroying the core. That's where they're mainly focused. That's where a lot of these teams, I think it is, or they just want to get control. We talked about if you have shooting floor control, if you have roof control, if you have control of that core, it lessens the chance that the team inside has a chance to defend.
Yeah, and it also gives you access to most of their loot because that's where the teams are going to put all their rockets and C4. So even if you didn't bring all of your boom, if you can get to that core, you can restock off of whatever they have.
Exactly, and it seems like the plan. I mean, we talked about you can get that loot, all those chests there available for them, and you need boom, you need C4 because of just how long these raids are going to take. The bases are bigger because there are more people, so trying to rocket everything, they're again going to steal some of this loot, ladder back up to try and get themselves to a better position now, but still no TC taken here as 10 minutes have expired in this raiding phase, and Blinchiki has actually jumped over Lightning, who had those extra points from the attacking phase.
Now
Rockets
now they can start focusing on these doors, open them up a little bit, see if they can get lucky before this other team comes out after it.
want to get through these quick. Need a couple people rocketing right now. The advent calendar doors, they are annoying, but they are very effective as nice rockets going out to start to destroy, and it doesn't look like they're double tiered where they don't have a door behind the door. So just destroying these single doors really good for them right now, or just making their way through them, see if they can find the right one.
Yeah, it looks like they're just square foundations and square build up, so not much difficulty. You just get these doors open and you do a rocket, you can splash, and there you
There
go.
you go.
So I think this is why most teams have decided to actually go with the triangle foundations and do those mazes behind the walls. It's like a little bit more difficulty, a little bit more boom that's required.
Oh yeah, 100%. And maybe they come back next week and come with a little bit better design, but RNC a really good job from them noticing that those are square and starting to just go through them and destroy them. And after all those teams do push forward to it, we will see that RNC take in second place now from with that TC take, and a lot of kills traded back and forth. But Joke will lose a player here to Ecuador, I believe. A lot of raids
Oh,
going
and a
out.
big fight here.
Yeah, yeah. We see a double raid going on here, and again, only 17 teams here. So the raids, the TCs are going to be a little bit more sparse, and the raids are going to take a little bit longer. But now, like we were saying, a double raid here as both these teams trying to make their way in.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much damage done by Free TC. It looks like they've just opened up a little spot and they want to focus on that. Looks like somebody overshot. Happens to everybody.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Maybe just a little bit off on the aiming, but this C4 is going to give them access inside the base. Like you were saying, try and target maybe one of the lower portions of this base, as there are people raiding different parts. So right now, Free TC will send some players to try and make their way on in. It looks like just 3 of them on the outside now. They have some other players trying to take angles, maybe take some people off of the top of the base, but we can see that the one side of this base is completely open. There is a massive hole ripping all the way through it, and 8 people, it is super hard to defend. So SV, they need to get a good job here. They need to start eliminating those players on the low ground, or they could be eliminated real quick here.
The door open. They'll still have to blow that to get through because it looks like it's blocked. And then Lightning finally found Vinegar's TC.
Yeah, so that was the team that was kind of gone, not there. We saw a real big fight between Nurik and Lightning over that building, but Lightning ended up taking it, and we saw them leading at the end of the attacking phase. So we can see that 40 points is going to be massive, jumping themselves back up into that first place position. They're holding it by 30 points right now.
Yeah, the Rockets finally slowed down enough that SV is trying to rebuild, but they're not. It's gonna be a while. It's not looking good for them with having these two teams coming after them.
It's tough. I mean, we talked about 8-mans. Like, as soon as that's another team, and in other tournaments, it might just be like, if it's 3-mans, like it's only 6 players, that's manageable. If it's 8-mans, you have 16 people raiding you for one team. If it's both teams converting all their resources to this base, and it's really, really rough to defend right now. Free TC trying to destroy what they can. That one member of SV going to run out, but it takes a while to switch with the rockets with that rifle. But he is going to get traded back.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing, like, if you're being raided by multiple teams, the only thing that's going to go in your favor is if they start fighting each other. And it looks like both of these teams are well aware of that and are just focusing on just raiding and fighting SV and not Free TC, and probably unless Blenchicky finally moves into the base, then they'll start taking out Free TC if they're there.
That will be most likely the plan. But again, this outside of the base is really damaged, and there's so many open angles for this team. So they really, I mean, they don't have, I guess, the intro that they want. They have a lot of this outer wall destroyed, but like you were saying, Free TC kind of occupying that middle sector of the base, that if they do start to walk in, TC could be the one to take them out, and you do not want to spend all of those rockets taking down that wall just to get eliminated at the last second here and have Free TC take it from you.
Yep, finally seeing some C4 from Blenchicky. And we have, I think Mammoth on the other side was trying to get around and stop Free TC. Oh, taken out by turret.
Okay. These turrets are going massive actually here. This roof is pretty well defended so far, but some rockets and some C4 once again going to blow through this wall. This base starts to fall more and more apart.
Yeah, so this is also an advent calendar in a way. I mean, it's just all hidden in the walls. So, I mean, it's more like the hidden tunnels that are just door after door after door. It's nice. I mean, I kind of like seeing the change. It's not just an easy door you can shoot behind like we saw in that previous base. It's a little bit, you have to work for it.
You have to work for it a little bit, and it's like a maze, you know, like you were saying. But I mean, the walls of the maze are falling down here as it starts to be broken through, and it's tough to defend. But SV are doing what they can. I mean, credit to them; they are doing a really good job of kind of holding down what ground they had. Taking out players on that low ground is a good start, and if you can get some of your players to start repairing, that could be really good as these other teams start to run out of resources.
Yeah, we see Lightning has moved on. And Male is trying... Oh.
Ow.
Joke was eliminated.
There. By Ecuador. Another one of those top teams. A nice TC for them. And we are down to just 15 teams now with that elimination of those first two.
These guys seem to be moving pretty quick. Trying to take down these doors. Yeah. That was an unfortunate fall down.
Fortunate
and they're in the spirit, though. I mean, look at those Halloween little web doors. I love to see it.
Pretty decorating for Halloween just around the corner. Spooky base, spooky colors for them. And just trying to, you know, hopefully those webs can defend some rockets as these other teams start to run in. But I mean, look how much the base has already gone here.
Yeah, and Lightning is moving in on this, and they're gaining a lot of PvP points outside. And looks like they've taken the roof.
Taking the roof, and I mean, we're talking about Lightning. Out of 30-point lead right now. If they stole this base from these other teams, that would put them so far ahead of anyone else right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was Joke's base that was taken by Ecuador. So Ecuador looks like they're just going in, trying to get any loot they can, any boom, and then hopefully move on to the next one if they hope to catch up to Lightning.
Oh. And right when we go off of it, of course, Lightning grabbed that base, it looks like. That had been raided for so long. And obviously we cast our cursor here. There's right as we go off it. That really sucks. But Lightning, I mean, we were talking about it, that if they took that base, now up to over a 60-point lead for them.
It was very nicely done by them. I mean, most of the boom had been done by another team. I mean, it's really smart of them. It's like they're not having to use all of their boom as the like Maul and whoever else was raiding those guys. They used so much getting into that base. Lightning just came and countered them, and all they had to use was maybe a few C4 that they probably picked up from some bodies, and they already got a TC.
We got a TC for them, and it's gonna be tight. We're talking about 20 minutes already removed from the raid phase. Time is going to be your resource that you have a lot of right now, but it will slowly diminish, and at the end, that is going to be the one thing that you cannot go loot for more of. So, see how these teams do utilize that. I feel like Lightning right now, just all around, utilizing it the best with going out, taking these bases, taking those PvP points. Get a really nice lead.
Trying to despawn some C4. Keep the people that are killing them from getting it, but I mean, it might just... I mean, if you're gonna despawn it, you need to probably use it. In this case, just because somebody's just gonna blow through that door, and then you just gave them another another way to get through a door.
Yeah, exactly. I do not want to give any enemies any space. And Lightning, again, we talked about just how consistent they are. Again, on a 15 kill streak. Seems like their PvP is just superior right now, as they're extending their lead even further. 70-point lead right now. 2 TCs ahead of the next team. And Blinchiki, I mean, they're 10 points ahead of Ecuador. So the leaderboard right now, looking in Lightning's favor, was leading at the end of that attacking phase. And we'll see if they can hold it down. But it looks like on this base right now, I believe this is Free TC's base. And yeah, it is. So Air Force going to be raiding on this outside. Looks like they have already gotten an intro into this inner side of the base, as TC going to try and defend here. Is like you were talking, this is one of the teams you want to see perform really well.
They were the winners from EU, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they're only sitting in third, so if they can steal this TC, I mean, that still puts them up. I mean, not quite up to Lightning, but it'll at least give them a chance because they need it. But so they'll sorry, raid defense points. They need to get these guys out of here. Rebuilds, go out and do something else. But they can earn up to 40 points if this goes on for a while. They can get a good 40 points out of this just by keeping these guys from finding that TC.
Exactly. You can get some of those raid defense points, and like you're saying, it needs to be huge for Free TC because they really don't want to spend much time defending this. And I mean, there's already 3 players rocketing inside their base right now, so they need to get rid of them quick because they need to be other places. They need to be spending their time catching up to other people. But right now, they're going to have to send a lot of their members back because this raid is not just a counter raid. It's not just a few players. This is almost the whole team coming out here to try and raid this out. It's just a massacre happening as Air Force has really good leads.
Jelen was taken out. Oh, okay, nice little trade-off.
Air Force just has really good angles on it right now, but one of those players will fall walking into the inside. Free TC doing a great job of trying to push back, but that player will finally get eliminated. Trades out though again. This Free TC player just loops around the backside, a really good angle. Actually takes out the player of Air Force that was on the inner side.
Very nice cleanup. I don't know if he has any doors on him, but they probably need to at least put a wall up to prevent more guys coming in. And if they can do that, that might slow them down enough where they can rebuild, do some damage control, and then move on to their next.
Exactly. Damage control is the name of the game, trying to get those walls back up and reset, but looks like they will mostly get reset. We can see Free TC didn't send all their players back. We can still see 2 players of Free TC on this SV base. Now, SV's been raided for a while, and it has been long, a war of attrition that they are doomed to lose if all these teams keep on pushing in towards them. And 3TC, they're sending 2 players out, but they're doing a really good job of getting kills. So they're doing a good job of trading at the moment. And they will get traded out. One of them will lose their life, but Nikita's still on the outside, on the outer compound. They're seeing if maybe they could just take it. As SV, they are panic repairing. They are trying to get their base built back up.
Yeah, they're trying to, but I mean, they still have open doors, open walls, so people could still have access inside. So I hope somebody's watching the interior and not just the roof, where it looks like the majority of them are.
Watch all those angles. 3TC, one of them will lose their life on the outside here. As I'm bunting to look for this trade, and he will get it. So a bloodbath on the outside is actually helping SV a lot, because they can get these repairs up. They can get all these walls built back up. 3TC on the inside, but a lot of these teams have really been cleared out at the moment. So SV is just doing a great job. You can see just, I mean, there is a massive hole in their wall before, and really repairing these walls back up.
Yep, they're trying to get some work done, but they need to stop everybody from moving in. But it looks like Free TC and Blinchiki are just pretty much going after each other. And I mean, this is the best case scenario for SV if they have any hope of surviving through this fight. It's just having those 2 teams take each other out, give them a chance to rebuild. Doesn't look like they'll probably... I mean, they haven't really moved from the roof. They need to probably have somebody push out, try to take out those raid beds. But I mean, Blinchiki is really close by as well, so they could still run over from their base.
Exactly. I think it would be huge. I mean, like you were saying, it's huge for SV that they can just have this time to repair and reset. RNC has also joined the fray, but as they mostly defended, we'll switch on over here. As it looks like VG is now the team that is going to be getting raided, as Ecuador is on the outside of their base here.
Ecuador sitting at 194 points, and still have plenty of boom to start this raid off. Nice, but VG actually is going to start pushing out, which is smart. You push out quick, maybe take them out while they have a rocket in their hand.
They can get them out of here would be nice. Try and, you know, like we said, there's a long period of switching where you switch from that rocket to that AR. So if you can take advantage of while those players are, you know, down and out here, it could be massive to try and defend your base. We talked about 8 players pushing on. Anything you can do to try and delay the push would be really, really good for you.
LOL coming out, pushing in from the backside of Ecuador, and we have VG shooting some rockets and trying to take down some of the walls and possibly the raid bed.
Trying to take down any sort of force they have. Like I said, anything you can do to delay would be massive here. So we will see a lot of kill streaks coming through here. It looks like Gigolo on one along with Lightning. So a good job from both these top teams here. Trying to again extend their points as Lightning still with a 60 point, 70 point lead here.
This is just... I mean, you have Maul, you have Nurik, you have Lightning. I'm trying to see if there's any other teams as well, but this is Maul's base, so they're trying to defend, but it looks like there's been quite a bit of damage from Nurik just roof rocketing them.
Nurik has been putting that pressure down from the long range, and 30 minutes expired here in this raiding phase. A third of that raiding phase has expired. If you just join again, Rustoria base invaders 8v8 North America here as we get into the later stages of the raid phase. Again, TC's worth 40 points, so Lightning right now leading by 2 TCs for anyone that tries to catch them.
It's an unfortunate time to walk through that garage door. But, I mean, how are you to know half your base is missing?
Yeah, that is
Looks like
very true.
most of that side is taken out. Lightning is up on the inside, so they're leaving those rockets coming in on that side, and they're going to start working on those interior doors, possibly from the other side.
Try and work it out. Again, it's one of these advent calendar bases, so it's kind of based on luck on where you find this TC, but they're just going to go through. They're going to start rocketing, try and blow a hole through this one. We can see, yeah, there's a little chunk missing from your base, and there's some
Just a little bit.
airflow into this one.
It's just for the breeze. We have a nice little sneaky shotgun trap that I'm assuming would have been a jump down at one point. But the floor is no longer there, so it's a pretty big fall.
It's there. The roof, like you were saying, no longer there. Pieces of the base. Lots of it missing. But like we said, it's just for the airflow. You know, they like the natural air conditioning in this map here. But yeah, Lightning doing a really good job. They're going to take some loot here. Going to try and maybe take some boom. We see those crates are labeled boom, so hopefully they can take some from it. But as of right now, Lightning again. If they take yet another base, they could... Oh, there it is.
It was down there.
Absolutely insane. Lightning.
It was... Yeah, it was a really smart move. I mean, they saw that one high qual wall, and they were like, "Well, this is kind of weird because it's up so high. Nothing else around it is high qualled. I mean, and then you have those kind of hidden where the walls meet the doors right in the middle. I mean, or the floors cover the doors. It's usually a pretty big giveaway.
It gave it away, and Lightning. I mean, can't talk about them enough. They led in the attacking phase. These TCs have mostly all gone their way. 100-point lead now. I mean, it's massive.
And I was gonna say all three of their TCs have been pretty much stolen from somebody else. I mean, Nurek did a lot of mainly scouting off that first TC that they were going after. But the other ones that were all contested, but they forced their way in, and they use their brains and use their communication skills to go ahead and take over.
And I don't think the other teams thought of that strategy of using their brains. That is a good one. Okay. Maybe for the future they will, because there's still a lot of raids to be had here. But Lightning right now, gonna use their brains, gonna be 100 points ahead, and I mean, Free TC, they're in second, and the next closest Blinchinky is 250. So it is a wide leaderboard. And then Ecuador is down at 200. So these top teams are very separated from one another.
Yeah, looks like Blinchinky has finally moved in a little bit more. Free TC seems to have cleared the area for the most part. So, but SV is still trying to close up. They've sealed a little bit more of the core.
Seal it up, but it looks like RNC are here. We got a lot of players too, and RNC being that 5th place team, still in contention, but we said the gap is pretty massive. Still an hour of time though to make it up. So RNC, they're gonna make their way and try and put all of their members over toward this. So try and get this out really quick. Try and get it done, but right now just send some rockets. See Blinchinky trying to build up, trying to get some protection down there, as he is a one-man army trying to get some protection.
And during this time you put up a new wall. It still takes time for it to heal, so even if they are placing a wall, usually one rocket will take it down, even if it is sheet metal. So, but it will stop that rocket from doing even more damage to the existing base.
Just trying to stall them out as much as they can is the name of the game, and it looks like the base is in an okay position right now, but I think they're doing good, but it looks like Air Force is on the inside. So other than that though, there are 2 small holes in the bottom, but no really other damage has been done just yet. So putting up those extra defensive walls can help them take out this team on the low ground, can help them communicate to get them out, and then once they do that, they can try and repair these walls and yet again have that outer defense to hopefully RNC not have destroyed too much else yet.
Yeah, RNC is definitely pummeling this base like crazy. I mean, I love to see this many rockets going off. Or is that Air Force? No, it's still RNC. Huh? And we're finding some beds. We'll get those destroyed, I'm sure, with the next rocket or C4 in this room.
Seem like it, and I would like to point out that Free TC obviously winning EU here today, coming into play in NA, and just still in second place right now. They've made up a lot of points just on PvP. We've seen this before. This team is really good at communicating, really good at getting those kills. We can see they made about 10, 15 points up since we last checked in with that leaderboard. So really good job. If they continue that pressure up and Lightning does slow down, could be a really good point for them to try and leverage off of.
Yeah, and this is pulling Blenchiki away from the raid on SV, and we have Alita with Lightning like behind them, behind RNC as well. So they're gonna have to probably stall their rockets for a little bit.
Yeah, team on their backside only helps the team inside, as those rockets will have to be stalled. And under an hour here, I'm starting to dwindle. So once again, Lightning going to be leading for right now, but this raid is going to be messy on the outside of VG, who were being raided before earlier. It looks like they did get some decent repairs off. Their outer wall still a little bit in shambles, but looks like they got some repairs off their outer wall, though. Their inner outer wall, you could say, on their base going to be shattered here as this team starts to rock.
I mean, they're closing one door, but not the door to all the beds, so they could respawn. Not, not any of these in the hall. Oh my god.
Exactly, but yeah, they're just going to try and defend. There's a lot of teams here, and again, that does help out VG, that all these other teams are fighting. And we can see this map. There are not a lot of teams down in this lower side, so a very isolated base could be a measure to be rated here, as although they try and fly away, they try and maybe find some ground to cover, but it looks like they will leave. So two bases down in that bottom right side. The rest of them seem to be up in the top side. It is Gigolo, who has a base down here in this lower side. So maybe just trying to take out their only remaining neighbor. And if they could do that, maybe start to walk their players over up towards those upper bases. But, you know, all those players look at that from the high ground. They just can't risk it.
Yeah, rockets are still going off on Blenchiki, but nah, they're getting a chance to put up some reinforced walls, just a little bit, but that's about it. He's trying. Bless his heart.
Yeah, trying his best, trying to do what he can. I mean, that's all you really can do, is just try and get any protection. And, you know, as long as you can, like you were saying, maybe just protect from one rocket, maybe protect from a couple rockets, could possibly get your base built back up. There will be a helicopter off in the distance. That is Gigolo. We saw them a little bit earlier trying to take this helicopter somewhere else. Here they will be taking it up into the upper quadrant, looking for a base to raid.
Yeah, maybe one of the teams that was out raiding somebody else. I see this one. Nope, they have somebody else in mind. Yeah, that's free TC. It's currently empty, so technically it could be a free TC if somebody wants to try their hand at it. But no,
Yeah.
Gigolo wants to come back to this massive raid.
This is a mess over here. VG's base, 3 teams, 4 teams, and it looks like actually they're gonna go for a different base. While they are distracted, one player on this base, they're gonna land on the roof. There are 2 players that are back now. They're gonna jump out though. Gigolo though, it's a massacre. It's a massacre. No,
Yeah,
none of the players survive.
I mean, if you're gonna land, you got to land somewhere where one of those turrets can't get you, and that landing was just not it. Yeah, and it is a fully armored base compared to the other ones that they flew past that looked to be just sheet metal roof. But it is what it is. They tried. They gave that team a scrappy if they want to heal it.
Questionable at best will be that, and they'll kind of have to dip on back out there. So see what they can do. I mean, they'll have to reset again, going back to their lower quadrant. That's going to be a longer walk than some other teams, but these raids are taking a while because these teams are really, really good defending. It seems like today, along with 8 players, you have a lot of those resources, but the team that owns this base, they will no longer have their chests or bed spawns up top, and it looks like Nurk has done a really good job to clear them out. I mean, if you're Nurk, you got to be upset at Lightning already for taking one, so you got to be careful to finish this one quick before they come and steal another one.
Yeah, I mean, they're. I haven't really seen them. I've seen them go, like a one or two of them out checking out the area, seeing which raid maybe they'd want to come and swipe, and this one could be one that they would look into. We say LOL.
Looks like this base is just gonna be blown through the middle here. Massive hole now. Nurik C4ing everything. As Triangle is gonna be on the other side of that base. All of their beds on the low ground here as this player jumps back up, but immediately dies. Just a massacre here. They're doing a really good job, but they got to clear this out once again. They need to make an effort. Try and clear this out as fast as possible before someone comes in and takes yet another base from them. But blowing open these doors is a good start. C4 will blow here soon.
Yeah, looks like they're just tunneling down. I don't know if they'll try to just tunnel down the floors or if they're just getting the easy doors that they can see.
We'll have to see, but trying to continue, trying to get through this base as they thinking it's closer to the top here. The C4 stack going to be dropped. Obviously, if a C4 breaks through something, it will drop to the lower floor. Be able to take some of that out too. So we'll have to see those doors now being rocketed. Those doors being blown open here. Nurik doing a really good job trying to get through this. They have a player in the low ground too, and I think Wen destroyed every single one of those bed spawns. So now looking, trying to get behind, trying to get through these doors. Kind of a half advent calendar base, but going through and trying to find it.
And they are moving really quick. They're not giving LOL a chance. And SV was finally eliminated, and it looked like Free C came back and took care of them while Blinchicki was out defending their base.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really good job from SV to defend for just that long. I mean, we talked about, I mean, they had 4 or 5 teams on them at one point, so really good job from them. But yeah, Free TC will make that initiative, make their way over, and Free TC has been getting PvP points along with that. So now the lead is just 50 or 40 actually as we get closer into this rating phase. And meaning now their lead is smaller. I mean, it's still a TC, but Free TC is doing a really good job. I mean, we know they have the members to win. We already saw them win earlier in EU, like you were saying, and we're seeing if maybe they can do it again because they're catching back up.
It is definitely possible. And maybe they'll find some loot at that base, SV's base. I didn't see with how many people died in SV's base. I mean, they probably have a decent stockpile of boom from the raiders who were killed.
The Nurik is doing a really good job just piece by piece taking apart this base here. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to try and get through it. Not a lot left of it, and it seems like they lost those inside beds. As soon as you lose those, it's so hard to get back into your own base. Eric just can't seem to find this TC just yet. I mean, there's not many places else it could be, but they're going to start to break through them as these outer walls do protect some advent calendar triangles there.
It's little stairs blocking doors. Decent way to get to the roof, but maybe hiding something. It looks like they have the same idea.
Dip around now. They're doing a really good job though as a team. But as I say that, you know, some walking in front of each other, taking some rockets onto each other, and just trying to find again this TC, trying to break around this upper floor. Dulo on an 8-kill streak.
Not there.
Yeah, and
hide and go seek with the TC.
Yeah, spooky hide and go seek as we approach this Halloween season. That TC trying to jump scare you. You want that jump scare though. You want that 40 points along with it. And Free TC, they're catching up. We talked about how, I mean, 100-point lead was what Lightning had, cut down to now just 35. 3TC just seems to get more and more KP because they are in here. They are really just getting a lot of kills and really putting the effort down to try and take these bases out.
Yeah, Free TC has now moved on to Blinchiki, or they may be coming in. No, they're still over at that other base clearing it out. I think that was SVs that they destroyed, and so now they're just getting all that loot and then probably moving on. I would assume over to Blinchiki since with all this boom going on.
Now we will just see. Actually, they're doing a good job at defending right now, but we also talked about with 8-mans, there's a lot less teams in this one. So with 5 teams already eliminated, only 12 teams left here. So these are starting to get a little bit sparse, but we are under the halfway marker here in the rating phase. Only 45 minutes left. Time is of the essence. That is the one resource you cannot get more of. These teams are starting to run out of it.
What I'm interested to see is where is Lightning and what are they doing?
They've been quiet. They really haven't been getting a lot.
And that's scarier than anything.
Yeah. They could maybe be preparing for their next raid or something of the sort, or maybe they're just walking behind Nurik, ready to just waiting to take their base from them.
Maybe going hunting a Scrappy or something to get them over here.
It could be like we said, it could be just like they're looting up to get ready for their next raid. Obviously, 8-mans, it takes a lot of work to get through a base, so I mean, they assume they got some of the loot, but being there at the end, maybe they didn't get as much as they want. So hopefully they can, get back in the fight though. They'll start to get some more points on the board with some kill points, but we'll see. Obviously they've had a lead in the attacking phase. They've had a lead in this raiding phase for the majority of it, but they can't slow down. If they do, 3TC has also been really good at taking everything, and we saw them do it earlier. We saw them do it in EU. We saw them do it weeks before. That they have the ability to catch up old leads and win the tournament.
Trying to get through this door with Explo ammo, but it's taking a little bit longer than if it was just C4. Maybe all the C4 is down with their teammates.
A possibility, but finally we'll get through that door. Now rockets and C4 trying to blow through them. There can't be a lot of places this TC can be left, but that's the nature of the advent calendar base here. Another door behind the door is what these players are used to seeing, and oh wow, I'm surprised. Another door behind that door.
Would never have guessed. Oh, well, you're just gonna let him walk right. Well, now you know it's not there. He just saved you trouble. Just move on.
Yeah.
Although you're just opening up.
Yeah, it looks like that hallway is completely empty. So now, I mean, they somewhat know that TC is not there. They're like, oh, thanks. I don't have to use a rocket there now. We can save those resources for somewhere else. And Eric has taken so much of this base over that there's no real space to play. I mean, they can get in through the bottom and try and work their way up, but they have no real estate over their own base here, as Nurk is just destroying all of them. Both these doors now.
Yeah, we'll try this hallway instead. Oh.
If his teammate there or something?
I mean, that wouldn't be the first time the teammate has taken the rocket instead of where they were aiming.
Yeah.
I tell Salamandra to get that out of the way. Oh, that's not Salamandra. I don't know who that was. And what's really, I mean, unfortunate for LOL is that one floor where all of their beds were.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are forced to spawn on those outside bags, come in naked,
Right.
hope you can pick up a kit from somebody who died, and then push your way back in. And it's not looking good for them.
Yeah, it sucks. And here is Lightning. We talked about them being a little bit quiet, but they have set up a little base here on the hill. Saw this angle a little bit earlier, and looks like they took maybe a car up towards here. They have a lot of players over here. They're gonna be jumping around the corner. A nice kill for them, and the PV points are starting to rack up once again. We're gonna be pushing in here here to what looks like Linchiki's base. This Air Force is still here, RNC is still here. They want to take another base from here.
Yep, they are currently a whole TC above free TC. So that's 40 points that they are ahead, but they're wanting to continue that. Looks like Blinchiki was well aware of what was going on, so they've decided to peek up a little higher, and that might not be the best angle for them.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying. Yeah.
They have to make their way down the hill still, though, so that will be the hardest part, is trying to, like you said, the maneuverability of that hill is a little bit hard to try and get your resources up and down. And at the moment right now, we can see they're putting some rockets down, trying to blow a hole in the side of the base. As Chicky, I mean, it's tough. It's tough being the team inside. You're just doing what you can. 3 teams right now, rating them 3 teams of 8 too.
Yeah, we see RNC pushing out. We have Air Force on the other side who have been picking on Blinchiki, but I mean, we have these guys coming in. They're gonna go, no, let's just keep pummeling.
Exactly.
I mean, especially with how much damage was done to the other side of the base from Air Force. I mean, you know that there's a good chance of the TCs on this side, and I mean, their placement is pretty nice.
It is, and Lightning is going to speed back up with those kill points, and getting 12 of them here in this short time will push their lead back up to 50. So once again, they've gotten their resources, they have gotten reset. Now is the time that they have decided to raid. So the repair's trying to come through, but some nice rockets, and Lolo is eliminated by Nurik. We saw them dismantling that base piece by piece. That will be massive for Nurik. They've had TCs taken from them already in this game. Massive for them as they'll take it out finally.
Yep, finally moved them up to 6th place. But now we're just focusing. I mean, I'm wondering where it is after all of those doors, where the heck it was.
Right. Yeah.
Could have been anywhere.
Honestly, I mean, they had blown through most, if not all, of those doors. So finally taking it out, doing it by the book, though, just slowly and surely getting it out. Now, we can see, again, another team eliminated. This list of teams has started to shorten more and more, down to just 11 teams now. That means, once again, there are less teams to raid. But Lightning here, we're going to be putting some nice rockets down. We see a hole is huge here through the side of the base here, and blown all the way into more. Now those rockets are really well angled too. And if they decide to push in, this could be massive for Lightning. They could look to take yet another base, but Blinchiki is sending some players out to try and get these flank angles, to try and take these Lightning players out before they push in.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to have to replace all their bags. Maybe should have put a wall up first, because they were Blinchiki was shooting rockets at it and took out all of their beds. So they've replaced them, but they haven't put up another wall. I don't know if it's because they don't have one or what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe they've ran out of resources, like you're saying, but I mean, they got to do something. I mean, with 4 teams pushing you, there's nothing really you can do, but you just have to do something. You have to hope these teams will fight, that you can get a reset off, and switch on over to yet another raid going on. It looks like Free TC has moved their members now to Gigolo here. Free TC being in this 2nd place, they need a real successful raid, and a lot of rockets coming out here to start this raid off.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be a quick one for them. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of high qual. This looks like the core. There's no doors on these. Yeah. And Gigolo was taken out.
You blink and you will miss it, and TC, that's massive from them. Really good to just take it out instantly. RNC arriving a little bit too late here to the fight. Yeah, the base looks pretty much empty. Gigolo, I mean, they were pushing on to some other people. End up's not working for them, and I mean, that's massive for Free TC. We talked about the lead that Lightning had built up, but now it is cut down to just 15 points as the stakes get higher and higher as this time starts to expire.
Yeah, it looks like Chaos is trying to poke at them, but they are currently sitting 10th, which is also last. And you can see, other than those 30 points that they got from those helicopters, they haven't really been doing much. I see them poking around a few of the uh, raids, but not much else.
Yeah, just poking around pretty much. I mean, see, I mean, bases, once again, we talked about this. The teams are starting to lessen and lessen. And, I mean, 10 teams, there's not a lot of bases left to raid. A lot of these teams are very, very strong defenders here. Right now, it is a foot race between Lightning and Free TC. Blinchinky, the next closest team, but I mean, they're 40 points behind Free TC. Maybe if they got a TC to recover those points, but I mean, the next closest is Ecuador and then RNC. We can see just how big those gaps are. So right now, Free TC and Lightning, they're the two teams that are competing with each other.
Yeah, with Blinchicki being the target of Lightning currently, I mean, all they're getting right now is the raid defense points, and they can only get up to 40. So if that raid goes on even longer, I mean, they're capped at 40, and if they can't get out and do anything else, I mean, they're kind of stuck at the moment.
Looks like
Nurk is
joined the
inside.
fray. They've joined on in. They're getting some kills too, so trying to trade on back and forth. I don't think some of the PvE players are actually up in here trying to kill him. Very good job at getting those trades on back. So Nurk, that player will be killed off of their shooting floor, but there is still a lot of damage done to this base already. The top is looking a little bit rough, and then I mean obviously there are some holes down into the bottom side.
Yeah, they've opened up the floor nicely. It'll just a lot of dead space in that center.
See what teams do with that. I mean, we can see all of these walls on a timer, but definitely some cover at least for these teams as this player's going to try to get res, but Ecuador says no. Getting that kill, getting the second finish, that revive will not come through. Doing a really good job, and once again, this helps VG. This helps the team inside because all these other teams are fighting. But Nurk now going to throw some C4 up to this high ground as Bart from Lightning on an 8-kill streak. C4 will be thrown, trying to break this outer casing here. As finally that should go down, give them a hole inside if they want to ladder on in. But for right now, yep, that's what it looks like it's going to be. Just throw some more C4, try and get more space inside. BG has been good at repairing, been good at defending. And, they are losing some players by the side. Is Ecuador another team trying to push on it?
Yeah, trying to get in, but that one ladder that was put up, I'm gonna have to. Oh, okay, he finally jumped in. And Glock was taken out.
Ends up dying there, but yeah, we see another team, Sia Poo, on the outside there that is pushing a little bit, and they've been very quiet here today in that low position there. So we'll have to see what they can do with it, and maybe they can make up some points. I mean, we're talking about 30 minutes left, a third of your rating phase. It's all you have left to work with, and if you're at that low point marker, don't know that you could catch up right now, but maybe they could get a TC to just for the moral victory of it.
It's all about the moral victory. We have Chaos out here messing with Free TC. So maybe coming their next target.
Free TC doing a really good job of picking their targets, and they're just walking here. Getting out into the open. The trade will come through. Beams him down. Very good job here from Free TC. Get some PvP points, and they're just rushing here, it looks like, as they rush towards Chaos Base. Like you said, maybe looking for this next target. Running out in the open right now, but there's no players on that high ground to try. They're going to set up beds, too. This is really good from them, getting a base set up, getting to try and get ready to go here. 3TC pushing on in, just running across this open field, an army of players on their team sending it over the empty field here.
Yeah, trying to get up on that high ground and start shooting on this base. Looks like there's only 3 players home currently from Chaos. So, and I mean, I guess there's 4. But I mean, you go after last place. It might not mean that they're bad, that they just might have gotten unlucky. I mean, their base looks really sturdy. At least the exterior does.
Yeah, it looks sturdy, and it's also going to be isolated. So this fight is going to be good for 3TC just because it's not going to make a lot of noise for other people to tag onto. So they can really take this 8v8. They can take this the way they want to. With these walls being built on the outside, they are already ready to go. They're setting up some beds here along with it. And, it's Chaos. They try to take these roof peaks, but...
Yeah, it's very odd to see the, I know this isn't their shooting floor, but it's nice to see these little shooting angles. But it looks like they've already kind of destroyed the shooting floor on that side, so that's like their only position to peek out at them.
Yeah, that's all they really have, and these rockets are really well placed here for 3TC. Lightning, though, they've been getting a lot of PvP points. We talked about them slowing down a little bit in that middle part of the raiding phase, but it looks like they have sped back up. They have regained a 40-ish point lead over 3TC, and the side angle here is absolutely massive here for Chaos. Don't know if they know about it just yet. They're going to take some shots toward these 3TC players, but the rockets are just, they're laying down fire after fire, shell after shell here, down into this base. And 3TC, they're looking good so far in this raid, but Chaos, just like you said, having to hold those roots.
Yeah, I think if Chaos possibly has a chance that somebody would need to move around them, but they're in a really, 3TC is in a really good position.
Yeah.
We see tons of damage.
Those rockets are so well placed to get into the middle of this base here. As we get to the end here, it's going to be really tight. We talked about Lightning and 3TC, two teams that have been working really well today to try and take that first place finish. But right now, we see Chaos still just trying to hold what they can, but there is some airflow coming in through their base. There is a massive hole stretching from the core all the way to the outside. 3TC,
just a little bit of remodeling.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a design. They designed it this way.
It's like if they didn't like the base, they could have just told them.
Yeah, and I mean maybe it's just like a house of mirrors or whatever type house, or it's like, oh, we cut off a third of our house. Whoa, like, type deal. But they're gonna have to play with what they can. And Chaos, they have some turrets still on the top here, so that's really what they just have to play with, what they can defend. But 3TC, these walls are starting to inch them closer and closer. Nice snipe from one of the players here, though, as Chaos will get really killed. But 3TC can res up at those beds, can regain those weapons. Hopefully push back in, because, I mean, the outer wall is now broken. The inner wall and the core is fully broken. If they push in, they could get some nice rifle kills as repairs start to come through.
He's trying to move fast to get that stuff up, but maybe need to start shooting up at the roof, take out some of those beds. But there's also beds down here in the core area. Nice little locker set up. Nice cozy home.
Nice little cozy beds. It's listed on the Airbnb. It's what, like a 5-bed, 4-bath with sometimes has rockets thrown at it. But...
There you go. They're starting to. Or as Kaz says, home is where the C4 is. So it's very homey, but more rockets right now.
Yeah, and they're trying to put up these repairs, but again, like you said earlier, those heals don't have time to come through, so they're just really in there. Look at this. They're already ready to destroy the beds. They're already taking some angles. These players of Free TC just doing it by the book, trying to do
Yeah.
what they can here. And I mean, they're trying to repair, but that base is already starting to fall.
Yeah, but Lightning is already up to 480. I mean, like
Right.
they've widened that gap even more. So I mean, yes, Free TC is booming a lot, but they aren't getting the kills to counteract Lightning. That's a death hallway.
Yeah, a lot of bodies here, a graveyard here in this base, and Nurik finally there. I mean, we talked about VG. They were defending for a while, but Nurik will finally take that base. Taking a lot of bases here, but just haven't really had the PvP points to match. And there you go. VG eliminated Nurik, 40 points to them. Just
A little bit more
19
PvP action, but yeah.
Yeah, PvP action is what you really need because, like you were talking about, Lightning just really good at extending their lead. Up to 50-point lead now for this team. And Free TC, they're trying to catch them, but I mean, they need to they need to hurry. We're under 30 minutes, we're under 25 minutes, and that time is never going to go up.
Ooh.
So it has started. I mean, ow, those bodies are everywhere there, though. For this team.
Yeah, so the interior is still, I mean, like it's some wood, everything else, but they're doing a decent job of patching the base up. And I think somebody's on the
Yeah.
outside trying to get more gates down. I mean, or get some more walls to make the compound again, but
Yeah,
seems like they've pushed back.
maybe a little bit ugly of a base, but it is a little bit effective at the moment, trying to defend what they can. And Lightning are just cleaning up all those kills on the outside there. So we'll go back to this raid. The only base left in the bottom here, and Free TC has made all the way inside. They are now have, I believe, control of most, if not all, of the base here. The markets start to continue to come in, and you see just how massive the hole was. They already broke in. That they are now just pushing in to clear out. This TC, they needed to catch back up to Lightning because of how many PvP points they put down. And with 23 minutes left, we are running out of bases. Only 9 left, so they need to get this one down. They need to get it quick before anyone else realizes what's happening.
Yeah, you pay for it when you are living all by yourself out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they had that one team that was a neighbor, but that was it. And I mean, it's like, yes, you have a less chance of getting raided, but at the same time, sometimes that makes you a target.
Right. Yeah, definitely can make you a target if you're just out in the open. And it's tough because no really other team is going to come to your aid unless they want to make that long trek out. But right now we will see, I mean, walls just being destroyed. A hole is massive in their base, and Chaos looks like their beds have been destroyed. So they're going out maybe to take out that little, beds of Free TC. It's a really good move, but Nurik on an 8 kill streak, RNC Moody on a 10 kill streak.
And so much boom going on right now. And they were nicely loaded up with C4, and still rockets going off. I mean, they came well prepared.
Right. Yeah. They gotta be really close to it. These advent calendar bases, they're hard to get through, but they have blown so much up. I mean, you have to assume it has to be quick here, as BTC have done a really good job. They've cleared out mostly everything here. The middle floor, the bottom floor, there are some doors left, but other than that, really nothing. A ladder gonna block that rocket shot there. As they're gonna try and get through, because I mean, it's gotta be soon, you gotta imagine.
Trying to get those jump rockets off. Or maybe it just looks that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tried to get back in.
Yeah. Trying to find what they can. I mean, this has gotta stink. I mean, they're trying to catch up. They need these points right now. Rocketing on through, and it's not going to be behind this one. It's not going to be behind that one. Oh, man, they are so close. Just haven't been able to find it just yet. And they're going to have to keep on looking as they have destroyed almost every single door in this base. 20 minutes left and not a lot of time for these teams. Rockets starting to go off now. It's got to be close. There's only a few doors left. There we go. Finally, after all of the time put into it, free TC will eliminate Chaos, dropping the number of teams to just 8. Under half of our teams alive here. We talk about that is massive. 20 minutes left and only a 6-point difference between Lightning and free TC right now. Air Force, the team still at the bottom, but right now Lightning and Free TC, the two teams that we have to watch out for. As time starts to tick down here in our rating phase, it is going to be very tight up until the end, and both these teams have been so successful throughout today, but it's going to come down to who can keep that lead, who can stay consistent these final 20 minutes. And again, all these bases are going to be up on the top side. That final base of Chaos was eliminated on the low side. All 8 bases are up here on the upper right. There's one more upper north. But other than that, all of these bases are here, are good to go. It's going to be very, very tight up until the end. A lot of the sounds going to be heard from these raids. Somehow, Blinchinky's still alive after all of that. Lightning still on this raid, getting some PvP points, but after that, I mean, they got good repairs and stuff, but really good job on that defense. So I'll try and just keep up that defense. Keep up what they can do. And really just hoping that they can just hold on. Hoping that these teams just fight each other. Don't fight us. I mean, that's just what they want. Murder corridor there. A lot of dead bodies and not a lot of fun to be had there. You can see and Lightning 5-point lead. It's very small here as we're gonna try and hold it as we get into these final minutes of the rating phase. Almost under 20 minutes and we're almost to 15 minutes. Time, the most important thing we've talked about all day, the most important resource for these teams. Have to see if they can utilize it properly because it's starting to dwindle. It is no longer going to be there for you. I mean, these teams, there's not much time left to do anything. Blinchinky, they've gotten so many points from this raid defense that they are somehow still in this. All those raid defense points are massive. I mean, we're talking about they are keeping them in. Keeping them
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, with 463 points, I mean, it's gotten them up. I mean, it's keeping them in the action. I mean, it's not that far off, but I mean, they can't go out and do anything else though, and that's the unfortunate part.
They can't go out and do anything else, but the points from these raid defense, like you were saying, is keeping them in it. They are 30 points away from that first place position, and if you assume that they can get more and more defense points off of this, because these raids are taking so long, they could maybe find their way into a top 2 or top 1 position.
Yeah, they could win from this. I mean, especially with how well they're doing in the PvP section of this. I mean, they're taking out everybody that comes in.
No one is really allowed in, and all these teams fighting on the outside just helping them more. None of their beds have been destroyed up in the upper roof. It seems like they have a lot of angles. They have a lot of cover to play with. It seems like all of their turrets still working on the top. And it looks like Free TC has turned towards another base. We've talked about how close this gap is between these top 3 teams, but it is also really close between 1 and 2. 4 points between Lightning and Free TC. Blinchinky, again, those defense points, we'll have to see how those factor into the equation with just about 15 minutes left here in the replays.
Lightning is moving in. They're stuck in some honeycomb, but better than getting shot.
See, though, 8 teams left alive here. Half of them already eliminated. We're going to see here as Blinchinky, I mean, again, the fighting is so good. 2 players there. 2 for 1, Blinchinky. Not even 2 for 1, a 2 for 0. That player of Lightning actually does trade him back out, but their communication, their kills have been so good. Lightning finally pushing in along with RNC. Blinchinky, they've been clean all day with it. They've been good on their fighting. And this is what it is going to come down to see if they can get this defense off, to get these continued PvP points. But as it looks like right now, RNC are in. RNC want to continue this. We can see just how many bodies there are from the likes of Blinchinky.
It's
using
almost
this
like
as cover.
that would tell me not to go there. That means turn around. Danger is ahead.
Yeah, we're talking about Halloween. I mean, this is a horror scene right here. As again, you don't want to walk there, and even more kills being traded back and forth. I mean, you can't even
Cameraman.
see it.
Just the heads peeking up between that half floor. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's a good place to hide, I think. Maybe the other team can't see you, but yeah.
It's a good place to hide, and it's a good place to die, to be amongst friends when you're there. But yeah, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job of just holding down that horror room and just holding down all of these kills. Man, I mean, they could possibly do it. They could possibly win it because of these defense points. We talked about them before. Getting a successful raid defense, 50 points, the longer it goes on, the longer the points, the more the points are, rather. And they're getting kills while doing it. And they're catching up.
They really are. And we have Free TC also fighting for this position as well. Trying to take out those turrets, maybe try to get up on that roof so they can control it, but there's still a few more that they have to take out before they can.
Yeah, it is going to be tight here, and a lot of teams, again, all the teams are up in this northern area, all by each other. A lot of bags here, a lot of loot to be had, a lot from that destroyed building. So if anyone does try and make their way over, but 8 teams left alive here. 1 will be the victor. Again, the lead shrinks and shrinks. A 10-point lead from Lightning to Free TC. Still, Blinchinky, some of those PvP points, you see them just jumping and jumping continually up. 35 points only separates them and Lightning.
And these guys looks like they're trying to stock up, maybe get a few more rockets or any kind of C4, as well as a little bit of some PvP action while they're restocking. But they only have 12 minutes left, so I don't know how much they can get done, but they do have that scrappy to hopefully fly somewhere really quick.
Hey, time is ticking down. Time is of the essence here. And you really need to get something done, because and you know Blinchinky are going to get defense points. You know they are going to get PvP points. For Lightning, you have to start to think, if this raid is unsuccessful, if this time that you're using doesn't pan out to a TC, could you give up your win? That has to be in the back of your mind. As we see Free TC, they have kind of put their resources towards someone else. The counter raids, we've talked about this, and when someone else is away, you can maybe get into their base for free. These rockets starting to come down. Air Force trying to get back to their base, trying to sound the alarms, but man, these rockets are already starting to rain through.
I mean, this could work out really well for Lightning. It's going to pull Air Force away from Blinchinky's base. But that could also, I mean, depending on how well Air Force can defend and how well their builder plays the TC, I mean, Free TC could just jump by 1 lucky rocket.
True. Yeah, they could and one lucky rocket could take out a whole entire team. But yeah, time's starting to tick down. BTC 11 points behind now. Lightning getting some of those
There's
PvP
TC.
points. There you go. Wow. I mean, that is crazy. Rocket comes in and free TC. I mean, really good job from them. Really good idea to just try and raid another base here, as they really can think. I mean, they're thinking, using their brains, using logic there, that if the other two teams are faced towards them, that TC is going to be on the wall facing away. A really good job. They're going to take a 30-point lead, and if Lightning is unsuccessful here on this raid on Blinchinky, they could have just given up their win.
Lightning has finally decided to take over the murder tunnel and use it to his advantage. So that's smart. All the bodies have despawned except for this one lonely man. More people need to come, please.
Get some more people in here, get some more dead bodies, but I mean, at the moment, 10 minutes left. Time is, I mean, you don't have a lot of it. You can maybe get one raid off if you send all 8 people. These teams that are not in the top 3 right now really do not have a chance, so they're just maybe trying to grief. And Blinchinky, they can't exit their base. They're just gonna be permanently defending, most likely, until these 10 minutes expire. And it's up to really Lightning right now. It's up to Lightning and Blinchinky, depending on how many defense points they can get off this, or if Lightning can successfully take the base. I think that is what it will come down to, and what Free TC end up decide to do, spend their time in these last 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, now they have to face RNC, Free TC, and Lightning. And that's not good. So you have team 1, 2, and 6 all after you. But hopefully they'll distract each other on the outside. At least Free TC hopes that would be the case.
I mean, somehow this base is still like, its outer walls are still mostly fully there. Like, this team has been so good at getting kills and holding teams out of it, but it's really tough for anyone to get in. They're getting points off those defenses. They are getting points off of those PvP. Don't know that it will be 50, but it'll be a lot, I think, because this raid has been going on for a while.
Yeah, Blinchinky has been doing an amazing job.
I haven't really had any
Nikita
time either go out of their base.
Yeah. We have last place. I mean, they are sitting up by themselves, but Nurek, Ecuador are all up there as well. I don't know if they'll turn their sights on that guy, on them. Might be a little difficult for them to come over here to fight, but ooh.
It has just been a bloodbath of teams here. Only 7 of them left, but talking about 7 minutes is all the time that is left here for these teams, as it gets tight. And this fight on the outside, Free TC, they're gonna get traded back. Blinchinky, this player XO, has pushed to the outside, has gotten the flank, and once again helped defend their base. Now trying to push in to take out these members of Free TC, just being a solo man army. You can see this Free TC, finally that base will fall, and they're just going to take the cover for right now. Blinchinky somehow holding on. That is the story, I feel like. Lightning, they just can't get in. They're in the outer wall, but they just can't get anything done right now. Cannot find that TC. 7 minutes left. They need to get something, or PvP points, to try and catch Free TC.
Yeah. I think Lightning may just be running into the issue of not having boom. It's they're still getting a lot of kills off and are still very active, but no booms going off at Blinchinky's base.
Real boom going on. Free TC now are gonna be killing some other people on the outside, and again, this helps Blinchinky. This helps them out that the other teams are fighting. You're getting down to it. I mean, we've been talking about time the whole time. And Free TC and Lightning, they're running out of it right now. Lightning 20 points behind. And Chinky still, I don't think, have gotten awarded those defense points for this raid because it's not been successful. But once that timer does expire, they will be gifted all of those points, and it is going to be massive if it's enough to jump them super far ahead. But they're just doing a really good job of just playing the defense, playing to their strengths, utilizing that all these other teams have to fight each other, and holding on. They just have to hold on for 5 more minutes.
Yeah, currently it would push them up to second place. And for Lightning, who held the top spot for so long, to possibly lose even just second place, it would be heartbreaking. But I mean, it is what it is. You just come back next week.
Yeah. Back next week, try and regain anything. But right now, TC ladders on the outside. Lightning have been on this base for so long. Their time has been really everything into this. So again, 20 points behind. If they get a TC here, could win. But I mean, for time, they are running out of time. They are really, really running out of time. They put so much of it already into this base. There's nowhere else they can really go. So it's roof right now. One of the Blinchinky members will die there. The turrets might help out, but base somehow still holding on. Blinchinky somehow still holding on.
Yeah, and we have one Lightning member up on the roof trying to peek in. Maybe take out turrets if they can. Theokritos. Guess one Scott doesn't see him.
It's a gap. I mean, TC have built themselves up that gap. Taking that TC again at the end. I mean, right now, Lightning, they have to get this. They have to get this, or it is all done for them. 4 minutes left, running out of time. If now is the time to send all of your players in, it would be it. They're going to do it. They're going to start to send players into Blinchinky. They have sent players out to try and stall them as much as they can.
And this could possibly be 2 free TC wins in a row. Who won? They won earlier in EU, so that would be an amazing job of these guys. Definitely veterans in this team. I mean, in this tournament.
100%. Yeah, back-to-back wins would feel very good. They are a very consistent, like you said, veteran team. Come out to play here today. I mean, we saw them last week drop one of, I believe, one of the biggest attacks in history of Rustoria with a lot of points there, and ended up, absolutely smashing with that lead. And, we can see they are good on all fronts. With that PvP, with their rating. Just seems right now they're seeming like the better team here today. Lightning, though, have a chance to prove them wrong, to strip their title from them. Only have 3 lonely minutes to do so.
And Valeria is making it easy for any of the people trying to make their way in. The evil snowman is taking care of a lot of people. We do finally hear some C4 going off, which is nice.
Nice little Halloween costume to try and take out some people. But yeah, C4 trying to blow on in here. Blinchinky are going to trade back and forth. Some nice rifle kills. And once again, no one can seem to get any control into their base. They just seem so clean at defending it. And I mean, we are running out of time. Lightning is running out of time. And Blinchinky, they might have done it. They might have held on. I mean, there's only 2 minutes left now.
Looks like they're despawning Boom. Trying to prevent the guys coming in, because they can obviously tell that not a lot of them have the Boom to get through their base, but they might as well get rid of their loot.
Right, get rid of their loot, make sure it cannot be taken from them, used against them. Lightning only has a few players left on inside of this base, and time is of the essence. Starting to tick down. 3TC taking that base there at the end of Air Force with about 10 minutes left. Securing their lead right now by 20 points. Minute and 30 left, though. Lightning, they need to make a final push right now. They need to get all of these players back on in, get them guns, get them inside, or it will be too late. It looks like they are stalling, though. They have to get these kills. Free TC on their flank.
Jelen is cleaning them up, not letting them get back into that base, making and giving their free TC. They're just holding for the win. And yeah, he's doing a damn good job of it.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Free TC just holding them out, making sure, getting those angles, playing so smart. You can see that Lightning is really close to them, and they decide to hold them off, make sure they can't get this raid. And as we get under a minute left, I am curious because I don't think they've gotten their raid defense points at all yet because someone has been inside their base throughout this whole thing. Once this reaches the end, I'm curious to see how many points Blinchinky gets. But as we approach 30 seconds left, Free TC going to be holding down those angles, making sure Lightning cannot escape, cannot get into that base. And there's not much time left for these teams as it ticks down to 15.
Looks like Free TC is just celebrating their win over at their base.
Quick lightning strike.
Lightning tried to get them pulled back to their house, but it didn't work.
Ends up not working out, and there you go. Free TC, back-to-back victories for them. Absolutely insane. 610 points overall was just a really, really good job. I'd also like to point out Lightning and Blinchinky both did really great. Blinchinky especially, that defense, they had to hold for like 30 minutes against 3+ teams that whole time. They get 40 raid defense points, it looks like, and still get that 3rd place there.
Yeah, only 4 points away from Lightning. So it was a great job defending.
It is a great job defending, but yeah, Free TC, 610 points, 1st place finish, 4 raids completed, 4 successful raid defenses. That those kills though come in massive for them. 393 kills, a really nice positive KD for them.
Yeah, the numbers on them, I mean, with Nikita with 82 kills, I mean, it's a great number, especially pretty even around the top 3 of those players.
Very even team for them. But Lightning, another big performance from them. 3 successful raids completed. No real defenses, but man, those kills. They had a lot of them early in that PvP phase. 420, the funny number of kills. I mean, a really, really good positive KD. A really good job. Alita with 89.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think that their only issue is they ran out of boom towards the end. If they had the same amount of like Free TC, they were able to loot up, restock, and go after the next team, whereas they were stopped short and didn't get a chance.
Exactly. Blinchinky, though, the defensive team of the year, man. 4 successful raid defenses. They just could never leave their base. 481 kills of PvP. Still a positive one. Still a positive KD there for them, too. And very good job. They held for 30+ minutes against 3 teams. And those raids were just never stopping. I think it had to be more than 4 raid defenses just because those raids were constantly going on. Just a really good job to hold. Really good communication from them. Although they didn't get themselves into a top 2, that's what they just had to play off of. They couldn't ever leave their base, and they played with what they could.
They did really good job. I mean, 90 kills. I mean, their PvP was on point. Their defense, their builder did amazing. Rebuilding after every rocket. I mean, it was really nice to see a good defender.
They played such of that defensive game, and there is such a gap between them and 4th place. But Ecuador, they do come in 4th place. Still pretty high scoring for them, 463 total points. 1 raid completed to 1 raid defense, and a really good KD for them, actually. 397 kills for them, a little bit less than some of the other teams, but a lot less deaths, really utilizing their resource to the fullest potential.
Yeah, we didn't see much of them. I mean, we do see they did take a raid. They did have a defense, but they were everywhere. They were constantly moving to these places and actively part of a raid. Just somebody else got those raids before they could finish it. But I mean, really good PvP action out of these guys.
100%. Really good action then, obviously, rounding out that top five. Nurek, a team that shows up mostly every week, 373 total points for them. And all of these teams really did survive. I mean, we're talking about top seven. Only seven teams out of, I believe, 17, 18 did survive. And Nurek, there you go. You see it. Two successful raids completed, just barely a positive KD, rounding out our top five. And honestly, a really good job from all these teams to just stay alive. We saw how hard it was to be in that neighborhood of death. Just a really good job overall from them.
Yeah, really good job. I mean, building that close to all the that many other teams. I mean, it was hard for them to get anything off, but the fact that they did get two raids off, I mean, it was good.
It was really good, but in the end, it's free TC. I mean, successful, really successful raid. They a nice kill. I mean, I think the real biggest thing for them was just getting that real. I wouldn't say it's luck. I would say it was a really, really decisive victory in that raid against Air. And they just hit the right wall. They hit the exact placement of the TC, get those extra 40 points, and that's exactly what they end up winning by.
Yeah, that I mean, attacking from that angle, I mean, it was really smart. And they pummeled it until, I mean, and it was exposed. They got lucky with that TC placement, but at the same time, I mean, they did well before that, and they caught up to Lightning, and then finally took over.
I, it was good. Lightning, they got kind of unlucky. You mentioned it that they ran out of boom towards the end. Chinky was just such a good defenders. I mean, Lightning had a really good take in the beginning. They were leading the attack phase, but it ends up that they lose it. They end up losing because they don't get that raid that they spent so much time off of.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things. It's like you get the veteran players who like know how much time to actually go after that one base, and then when do you cut it and go after somebody else? They might have already
Mhm.
used all of their boom. They couldn't have gone back home to grab more. So they just were gonna stick it out, and maybe any counters go after them. I mean, so it just depends on how well stocked they were and the stubbornness of the team. How if they're like, no, we started this, we're gonna finish it.
Exactly. I mean, free TC. We talked about. I'd like to talk about their achievements. I mean, over the past couple weeks, they have won 4 out of the 5 of the total total events. Like that's insane for one team across a different set of team sizes, a different set of map layouts to just come in, be consistent, and look like the best team out here.
Yeah, they've done really well, and I mean, they're becoming one of the expected top, at least the contenders out of every single tournament. You see them. I mean, maybe they're going to start being the target of a few people right off the bat, just to get them out of the way, so other people have a chance to win.
Yeah, we've seen that. When you're one of those teams, it does put a massive target on your back, and it could start to be that way. Like you're saying, if you start to win more and more, teams will be like, well, if we take them out first, they will not have a chance to win. If we take them out, then they won't be a problem and maybe take that win away from us.
For sure. And just for you viewers that are in here, if you think you can do better than this, or if you just want a chance to try, drop into our Discord, uh, get on and play. I know it's only $100, but at the bragging rights you will
Mhm.
have to say you beat some of these pro players, I mean, it's worth it in the end. But go to our Discord, exclamation mark Discord, and sign up. If you don't have a team already, there is, I think, hashtag LFG, a channel for that where you can find somebody, some more teams to play.
Yeah, definitely bring out your friends. I mean, it might just be $100. That's still some money. You can get yourself something really nice. Maybe get yourself a nice Halloween outfit as we approach the Halloween season. But I think that is going to do it, I guess, for our event here today. Again, free TC after all of that will take that first place finish. Again, thank you to Rusty Pot for sponsoring today's stream. I appreciate all the people behind the scenes that you guys do not see putting in all of the work, all the producers, all the people setting up, all of the admins. Also, thank you, BlastRites, for casting here today. But from everyone here at Rustoria Base Invaders, thank you so much for watching North America AV8s. We will see you next weekend and have a great night.